So let's say if a borrower is looking to purchase or refinance, what do they need to know about interest rates or closing costs?
Well, first of all, they can be very confusing, even for lenders, I'll have to say. And for the poor consumer who's out looking on the internet, looking at interest rates, and then calling around, it can be even more confusing. So what I would say to that is the lowest interest rate isn't necessarily the least expensive rate for you. So for example, the lowest rate is going to have the highest closing costs. Highest closing costs are your basic lender closing cost plus 1% of the loan amount, or some percentage of the loan amount. Depending on the loan size, that could be anywhere from $4,000 to $6,000 or $8,000. The next option is a low closing cost option, Jeff, and that is a loan with no origination fee. That might be 1/8% higher. The third option, though, is what I call a no closing cost loan. Now, depending upon the loan size, it could be anywhere from 1/4 to 1/2% higher than the lower interest rate. Now, you might say, why in the world would I take a higher interest rate? Because it's totally counterintuitive to anything that you would ever do. But the reason is because if you look at the payment savings versus the investment and closing cost and consider amortizations, oftentimes the break-even time could be 7 years, even up to 12 years to get the lowest closing cost, to get the lowest rate. Now, if there is a buyer or a builder or somebody else that's paying closing costs, I always recommend going for the lowest interest rate. But if a borrower is paying them themselves, we always want to look at the other options.
Great. Well, great. Well, thank you very much, Jim, and I appreciate you coming in today. If you all out there are interested in learning more about Jim and his company, I will put the website at the end of this video. But before that, I just want to give Jim a quick testimonial. As he knows, we recently financed our home. It was a fantastic transaction. I've done it 2 times before, and this was definitely the smoothest refinance that we had done to date. And if you want the good service and a job done right, contact Jim Enright.